Has your number been called? Have you got the right hand? Have you thrown the dice at the very right moment? Or possibly have you placed your bets in an all-in caliber of season here for the Racekraft Simulations V8 Veterans? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, whatever it is you may be watching from. Welcome back in here to Infinity Broadcasting. We're live across the V8 Vets and Infinity Broadcasting channels for the Split 2 action of the fabulous Season 25 for Round 10, the finale this season, where we'll hope to crown another champion here in Split 2. We're on the precipice of the possibility of a second two-time champion. The first time in nearly 10 seasons we would get a two-time champion. Now is the best possible time than ever that we could possibly do so. Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brett Fisher once again. Brett, we're coming to tonight where Matt Scholes has had a little bit of pressure taken off him by way of some drivers missing tonight's race, and where he could be 150 k's away by joining Rick Sibra on the very small list of drivers who have won two Split 2 V8 Veterans Championships.
We're not very far away at all, Hamish. Great to be here once again for the final round of Season 25. I'm looking forward to this last race. It's a bit of a challenge, this track, but I'm sure we'll get there in the end. G'day to everyone out there in the chat. Great to see you all again. And for people who are watching this video, video? Can you call it a video?
Typically it becomes a video when the live stream's finished, I suppose.
Yeah. So for those people in Futureland, yeah, great to see you watching it. And give us a thumbs up and a like and all that sort of stuff. Happy days. Onward and upward, as they say.
That's very, very true, Brett. We come into tonight to the Sachsenring for the very first time in the V8 Veterans, a circuit that I actually quite dearly hold close to my heart. It's one that I fell in love with by playing through the MotoGP games of the mid-2010s, and it's a circuit that is twisty, it's tight, and it's tough for these drivers in supercars. Tonight, of course, they often struggle at circuits that are very, very suited to motorcycles. Of course, the Sachsenring, other tracks as well that may include, of course, Jerez or possibly even Navarra or Aragon as well, just to name a few. So the Sachsenring it's a good testing circuit. It's one that I think is quite overlooked in terms of great racing circuits in the world. Not within my top 5 or even my top 10 favourite racing circuits in the world, but it's one I think is severely underrated in how tough of a challenge it is, but how satisfying putting a complete lap together is as well. It's one that is a real roller coaster ride right here in Germany, of course. And when you think of Germany, Brett, well, you think of motor racing. You think of motor racing greats like the Hockenheimring and the Nürburgring, and then other circuits as well, like Urschusleben and like the Sachsenring, which are a little bit overlooked, but they are fantastic places to go racing. And for the first time in the Vets, we get to do that here tonight. So as we have a quick look in at our current championship standings, Matt Scholes leads the way on 1,232 points. He's currently adrift of Simon Haynes by a little under 60 points right now in the championship, but the big important thing to remember is Simon Haynes is not here tonight. He's unable to race. Tim Mulford then, 10 points further back, cannot race either, had called in to work very, very late on Thursday. So both of them miss out on the chance to win the Split 2 title. It will mean that they very likely will remain in Split 2 next season, so there'll be challenges to keep an eye out for. The next one we then look back to is Dave Arney. Well, currently, for Dave Arney to win the title, he needs to win the race, and he either needs to win the race or finish anywhere, and Matt Scholes needs to finish before the 75% marker of lap 32. If he makes lap 32, Matt Scholes will be the Split 2 champion for Season 25. Jim Caperonis, he's a little bit too far away because of the amount of drivers that are in the field tonight. Darren Crosby as well. But when we look at the natural drop-off of positions of drivers, of course, in that top 5, Haynes and Mulford, if they drop out through natural progression, it would allow Darren Crosby and Damon Fisher into the top 5, with Kiddis sniffing on the back end of an opportunity at getting into Split 1 still at this point in the season. He had a great start to the season with Alex. He was one of our championship contenders very early on, but a poor slump in form in the mid to late part of the season has taken him out of championship winning opportunity, but there is still an opportunity for him to make his way into Split 1. He's got to try and grab the bull by the horns though and just ride it as hard as possible, Brett. maybe for Alex, he needs to hope Damon finds some of those internet gremlins again and he can find his way back in the top 5 of the championship.
Yeah. And just on Alex Kiddis too, what a roller coaster a series for him. You know, like come out of the gates firing on all 8 cylinders, we might say, having, you know, getting sort of settled and putting some getting some points on the board early, and then unfortunately just got the wobbly knee and just went down. You know,
we've seen it happen before, Brett. Most recently in season 23. With Jim Caparonis. I know Jim's in the chat. Hello, Jim. We love you, Jim. But back in season 23, Jim started off really, really hot, but unfortunately in the mid part of the season, he couldn't carry the momentum and he just really struggled. And I think the early domino that fell for Alex, ironically, was round 3 out at Watkins Glen. That was the first domino to fall. And that was the one that kind of then led to the offset struggles that he would face this season. Alex is a very talented driver. He is very, very quick. But he has made some crucial mistakes this season in that poor slump of form that has arguably cost him the championship for season 25. But he has still got an opportunity to get up into split 1 if he can make the top 5 in the championship.
And definitely showing, you know, that he's got the goods. As well as some of the other drivers
100%.
that we talked about.
I was so impressed by Alex's pace this season. I think he drove very, very well from where he qualified. But the obvious thing is he struggled when he was further back in the field this season. Pulled off some great strategy plays though to keep himself out of trouble further back in the field by pitting early when he wasn't getting the most optimal qualifying in. But just a struggle really a season of 2 halves for Alex. So he'll probably self-reflect on that going away from this season. Look at, if he gets into split 1 next season, look at how he can kind of reinvigorate it and then push on once again. Just quickly,
Simon, sorry, you go.
Oh, no, you're right. You make your piece as we're just about to load in and have a look at the circuit tonight. Just to
sorry, I was just about to say, Simon Haynes, you know, what a great series he's had thus far, and unfortunately won't be joining us tonight on the track. So that's a really big shame because he's really done a great job thus far, and we can talk about all the other people on track and everything like that later on. But here we go. Let's zoom in
onto the Sachsenring, not too far south, Brett, of Leipzig, here in Germany. Actually, in the Hohenstein-Ernstthal region of Germany as well. This circuit's been used ever since 1996 in its current form. It was originally a street circuit, though, back in 1927. It all starts on the main straight up towards Coca-Cola curve for turn 1. It's a tough corner. It's a tightening corner. It's downhill off apex, and it's one that begins the roller coaster ride down the hill through turn 2 and up through Castrol Omega at turn 3. Those first 3 corners, Brett, they're going to be difficult for these drivers as they drive down the side of the hill, and it could be opportunity for a bit of argy-bargy and possibly a couple of mistakes from drivers as well.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, for sure. You know, and it's going to be interesting to see how we all get through that first turn and onto the second one.
Yeah, it's a tough first little sector. As we then switch back around, though, from turn 3, we'll begin the ascent back up the hill through turn 4 and up at Sternkerl at turn 5 and 6 as well. And then it's the long left-hander downhill run through turn 7, continuing downhill to the braking zone at 8 as you cross under the bridge as well. This is a very, very fast section of circuit, though, Brett. Drivers will have to be careful of it. They'll have to be careful of the gravel on the outside of the track as well, and also getting overextended with each other throughout this portion of the race as well. We then run up towards turn 9, where we could see some dramas tonight. We already saw it in the Split 1 broadcast on Thursday with Mark Poynton, where he ended up off track after a contact with a car that lost control. He then had no steering and pulled out in front of the traffic. I mean, it was so scary for them. And we know that Mark didn't mean to do that, but that's as big of a moment as we could ever see up at turn 9. We then go around the fast turn 10 and up towards the right-hander at 11, where you can track extend just a little bit to the left-hand side, but you set yourself up at the bottom of the hill for the braking zone at 12 at Saxon Curve, where you got to be careful you don't get it locked up, or you don't try and go around the outside too harsh, because you can end up off the track and in the gravel on the right-hand side. As we then head up towards the Keckenberg Curve at turn 13, there is no grip mid-corner down here. You've got to be ultra careful you don't run it too wide, because you could very easily bring gravel back on the track. You've got to be careful of the curb on the right-hand side of track 2, because very easily the rear end can get loose. And the other important thing to talk about tonight, Brett, is the pit entry. Drivers have got to be ultra cautious of pit entry and be cautious of the speeding and pit lane penalties you can receive here, because it is a quick pit entry. It's one that you will get to the cones incredibly fast, and if you haven't practiced it all week, you've got to do it in the warm-up to make sure you are prepared for that entry. Pit exit shouldn't be too bad, although we have seen some incidents across the other 3 splits at pit exit, but I have a feeling that split 2 may be okay tonight for pit exit.
Yeah, well, let's hope everyone gathers it all up and keeps it all on the straight and narrow. I'll tell you what, that's just looking at that track map, isn't that a John Van Ree, heaven? Look at all that sand. It's just absolutely.
I have to
everywhere on
wonder,
track.
Brett, if this is the track that Holden based the Holden Performance Centre on when they were producing the HQ panel vans of the day for the Sandman panel vans, maybe. Just get a bit of beach in the car for you. But no, it's a difficult track. Yeah. It's a short track as well. 3.6 Ks, 2.2 miles in the old language, 13 turns in an anti-clockwise direction. But very rarely do we actually get to go to an anti-clockwise circuit, so it's fun when we get to do it here tonight as well. So it should be a fun time ahead. As cars are out on track at the moment for the warm-up session, it's about to get finished up as drivers are just getting themselves prepared here tonight. Pretty much to explain it to you, Matt Scholes has got himself a hell of a free kick at this championship now. Thanks to the unfortunate missing of Simon Haynes and Tim Mulford. But there is still pressure on him to make lap 32. If he doesn't make lap 32 tonight for whatever reason, or he does make it and he gets ultimately bulk penalties and he ends up at the back of the field, then Dave Arney can still win the title. But it is going to be a massive uphill battle for Dave to do that, one that may seem a little bit insurmountable, knowing how final rounds normally go in vets. I think we're 150 Ks away, possibly, from Matt Scholes being crowned the champion, but anything can happen, Brett.
Anything can happen, and invariably does, so you've got to keep yourself all contained, even though you might have a slight advantage. You've still got to walk the walk and talk the talk and get that car across that line as high up as you can now, at that finishing line. So
realistically, Brett, this season, I do have to say, though, no matter how good Tim Mulford's been, no matter how good Simon Haynes has been, Matt Scholes has looked as good as he ever has this season. Like, he is looking like he is back in his prime. And I think he's pulled that off again by getting himself another pole position this season. He's a man who's on form. He's back in form once again for the first time since his last championship challenge back in season 18, where ultimately he won on the day out at Mugello. Tonight he comes into a very similar motorcycle style circuit. He starts it on pole. It's going to take a lot of work for Dave Arney to get past him tonight, no matter how good Dave is.
It's his to lose.
Matt has been the driver on form this season. It is really his to lose tonight.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at our starting grid. It's not round 8. We are round 10. Would have paid for me to have
it's all right.
remembered that one.
Oh, look at that.
Pay out every time I've forgotten to change the round number. Matt Scholes, our championship leader, will start on pole alongside Chad Varga on the front row of the grid. Paul Burns, Scott McKenzie on the second row, Chris Blanchard, Damon Fisher in behind, Jim Caparone, Shane Randall ahead of Ron Allen and Dave Arney for our top 10. Bruce Tannick, Simon Heddersheed will then make up the top 12 on the grid tonight. Mick Clifton, Todd Duggan ahead of Andrew Hoffman in the top 15 with Matt Stores alongside him with his teammate Scott Weston in behind, as well as yourself, Brett, in P18. It's a great qualifying from yourself. Rick Viger, Mark out in the top 20. Brett Taylor, one of last week's Driver of the Day Award winners alongside Dave Arney, starting back there in P21 with Jeremy Bush, Brett Horsell, Tony Chapman out of P24. We then look back to Steve Grumley, Darren Crosby, Alex Kiddis and Matt Parker starting from the back of field. Brenton O'Brien not driving tonight. He's actually stepped into the race control booth, so let me just remember to remove him from my list as a driver because that will then mean he won't show up on the timing tower. But a massive thank you, though, to those drivers, or to Breton, for stepping out for the last round just to get into the race control booth and help RC out, because I know that Travis was struggling last week out at the Red Bull Ring. I know we had a few people put their hands up as well, so it's really great that there was a lot of support around race control this week, and to get more people in there too. Hopefully we can maintain that going into next season.
Yeah, and it's a huge job with a number of race controllers, but to be one race controller, that is mental. Like, the amount of stuff that be going on his desk at the time would be insane. So,
well, what will happen in only roughly an hour and a half's time when 150 Ks have been completed of this circuit? Will Matt Scholes, the man of Canberra, who's put it on pole and leads the championship into the final round, will he walk out with his second Split 2 championship this season and become the first man to do it since Rick Sibra, and make it 2 drivers who have had 2 championships under their belt in this split? Only time will tell. Or can Dave Varney challenge him, the man of Queensland and Brisbane? Can he land the helicopter for a championship charge? The lights are up, revs are rising, and the pressure's gone up as well as the green flag flies at the Sachsenring for the first time in V8 Veterans. It's a hot start off the line for Chad Viger, and as they enter down towards turn 1 for the first time, there's already contact. Blanchard is off the road back there.
Oh, way off.
Way off the road. Some really bad stuff.
He must be out there collecting sand for
I think
John
he is.
Henry,
He's doing the WKMP job at the moment. His header sheet.
Is that Simon Hennessy?
Yeah, he's dropping positions at the moment as he's just trying to get that car going again. So it's a hot start in this race. So you're dropping a few positions there, Brett, but you're good to go again here. But
I was just trying to keep out of trouble. Yeah, I was just trying to keep out of trouble, and it wasn't really too interested in a massive fight to the death for the first couple of corners.
Well, as we see, Chad Viger now leads the way. Matt Scholes, P2. Scott McKenzie, Paul Burns, Shane Randall, the top 5. Hot start there from Shane, up 3 positions. Another big gainer into the top 10. Bruce Tannick up 3. And Todd Duggan up 4 into P10. So there's been some hot runners early to get themselves inside of the top 10 or to move up within the 10 as well. And the losers within the 10 are Burns and Scholes, who are down 1 apiece. The big losers to come out of the top 10 is Ron Allen, who's currently down 5 positions and outside of the top 10, and Blanchard down 20 outside of the top 10 as well. So we come across the strike, lap 2 begins.
Yeah, just seeing Damon sort of disappearing into the realm a couple of times there, so maybe his internet woes are, oh, here we go.
Yep, Todd Duggan. And that looks to be, Brett, a case of final curb. Catches out a rear end tyre, possibly.
It was so easy to do on that section of the track too.
Really easy.
Just the slightest too much of acceleration and the car just danced right around.
Yeah, Damon Fisher at the moment is having real bad blinking issues off the back of Randall's car here. Let's keep an eye on this now for this lap, because this car, looking a bit like a Blinky Bill at the moment, is the shark of HAR and the NZ entry, putting some pressure here on Randall.
Yeah.
They've got Caperonis in behind them as well. Tannick too. These guys have been long in Split 2 for quite a few seasons. Caperonis came back to Split 2 this season, Brett. And right now, he's got a free kick to get back up to Split 1 next season. As Fisher disappears into the realm. Oh my God.
Oh, there he is.
That there is terrifying.
Yeah. Not only for Damon, for people around him too. That is the most terrifying thing when the driver disappears. You don't know where they're going to come back, and if you're halfway through a move or something like that, that is absolutely terrifying. But Jim Caperonis, fortunately went on holidays last season when he was in Split 1, and if he does, and I hope he does go up to Split 1 again, it'd be interesting to see as Damon disappears again, how he does handle Split 1 with a full season, if he can muster it, because it'll be interesting to see how he tackles that.
Well, Jim doesn't mind that Damon is blinking at the moment. He just told us in chat that he would never call him in. So good to see he's just going to let him race. Both of them hope to get into top 5 in the championship after tonight. So Jim will be happy to sit here though, because at this point in time they both would be inside of the top 5, but that blinking for Damon, it could be a curse for him, because if the likes of Tannic get past Jim and then Tannic books the call in, well, Race Control are going to have no choice but to check in on him and watch that blinking like hawks, watch their prey. So that's going to be a tough go for Damon if that continues. But Chad Varga at the moment leads the way. No hand in the championship tonight, of course, but it's always good to get a little ego boost in the final round. Matt Scholes currently in championship winning position. Scott McKenzie, well, he's had an up and down season, Brett, but has had some real shiners, thinking back to Algarve where he had a solid drive, as well as Paul Burns just trying to back up his teammate tonight back in P4, holding back some of the assailants who look to chase down the championship leader.
I wonder whether Matt Scholes is in that position he is at the moment and just is thinking to himself, I might just sit here and just cruise around for a bit and let this race unfold, you know, knowing the fact is that they're slowly pulling a gap on the field there a little bit. You know, why put yourself under any pressure? But we'll see how he sort of feels as we get further into this race. Bruce Tannic getting past Jim Caparonis.
Yep, so he's got that job done at turn 1. So now we need to watch, because Tannic may call Damon in for blinking here, and then that would mean Damon would have to come into pit lane and fix that up. So this could be, if that doesn't sort itself out for Damon, he may end up at the back of the field very, very quickly. Unfortunately for him,
which is a shame too, because he was having a good season. And definitely in the latter part of this season, showing some pace. You know, so, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there with pace, but yeah, there really are. There's a lot of drivers out there who've got great pace about them. One of them, Alex Kiddis, who started in pit lane tonight for license points after Red Bull Ring. We obviously saw that debacle that he had last time out in the wet, so he's had to start for pit lane. So is Steve Grumley, so that's why they're down the order tonight. Steve's actually been into pit lane for his first pit stop already on lap 2. Smart
so he's
move.
just trying to fix up some of the issues for himself. Of course, critical lap tonight was lap 1, so wanting to try and get in as early a possible pit stop as you can, because it means that if there's a safety car called, you can come in and you will get home with your second stop. So it's a pretty key point of strategy. As Tannic's just trying to get past Damon here down at turn 1, but cannot quite hang it around the outside. So this is becoming a tougher and tougher debacle for him.
Yeah, and this is where that blinking issue becomes a bit of a bigger issue when you are trying to make a move. Obviously, Bruce Tannic, and their Damon goes a couple of times in, must give a seizure warning to anyone who's likely to have a fit or something like that while you're watching Damon at the moment. But so Bruce Tannic obviously on a bit of a charge, getting past Jim Caparonis, and now obviously having a bit of a look at Damon, but that would definitely be making him wary of trying to make a pass.
Brett, I do have a question for you about Damon with his blinking issues.
Yes.
You mentioned seizure. So with all these blinking issues, has he had to cease operations on his fishmongering business possibly because of the blinking issues that he's having?
Maybe.
That was a real stretch.
He did tell me that Telstra, I mean, and because he's still running through his phone, the iRacing, so he's actually hotspotting his phone to run his computer off. And he was warned that Telstra were doing upgrades in the area and over the next 8 days or something like that. So that was probably obviously contributing to that there. But we've got some action happening on track at the moment.
We do indeed. I think I might have to stop my actual Discord screen share. I can keep my virtual camera up, Brett, but it's just a little bit too much load for the PC at the moment. So.
Right.
I have got a motherboard and
I can hear it.
Yeah, that's okay. Just make little race car sounds to yourself. It'll be good enough.
Yeah.
So hot battle here at the moment. Mark Houghton with his teammate Mick Clifton in behind. They've got Ron Allen in P14 behind them as well as yourself, Brett, P15 up 3 already.
Yep.
It's a good start for you in this race. You're doing well at the moment, Brett. Jeremy Bush in behind. Brett Taylor as well. What a race from Brett last week. What a performance. P3. First ever podium in Split 2. Very well deserved.
And we've got to figure out. We've also got to figure out who is going to be the top of the Bretts for this series, and I've got my funny feeling who I think that might be, but we'll we'll let that roll at this point, but we might check in with that later on in this after this race is all done and dusted. But this was a great little battle pack, actually. There was I was just trying to sort of keep myself out of trouble after the last couple of races, having copped some license points and things like that. So I was just trying to sort of not do anything too desperate, but not trying to sit back and, you know, let things happen around me without trying to take advantage of things as well. But this was a fantastic little battle pack. So Brett Taylor at the moment, we're on board looking at Jeremy Bush, and then myself, Ron Allen and Mick Clifton.
I'm doing a top effort at the moment. You guys in your battle here. And this is really becoming the onset mid-pack battle this season, Brett. I mean, you could throw a couple of other guys in there. Of course, Scott Weston, Brett Horsell have been in this sort of battle pack before this season as well. Andrew Hoffman's been amongst it, so is Matt Stoyles. So pretty much all the guys that are pretty much right in the middle of the field are where we've expected to see them all season. They're not underperforming or overperforming tonight. They are around where we would expect to see them. After this last and the season before's performances from all these drivers who have remained within Split 2, barring Ron Allen, who came up to Split 2 after last season in Split 3.
Yeah. I must say that the section of track we've just been through too, what a section of track. I love actually just getting on that power and having the car slide out of, I think, what turn was it? Turn 9?
Turn 9, and then
10.
the 9 is the kink, then there's 10.
Yeah, and then 10,
they switch back to the right at 11 to come back down the hill
11.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, coming through 11, you know, and knowing you're on full song and the car's just slightly, ever so slightly out of shape. That was a great feeling getting through that section of track.
So change for the lead as well here on lap 8. Matt Scholes has now gone through past Chad Viger. Scott McKenzie just tucked up in behind. Paul Burns and then Shane Randall as well. These guys have managed now just to break away a little bit here from the pack in behind with Fisher and Tannick on the back of them. Then it's 2.3 seconds back to Caparonis with championship challenger Dave Arney in behind him. Right now, unfortunately for Dave, things not going his way in terms of trying to win the championship this evening, but I think he'd be very happy with the fact that right now he would be sitting P2 in the title race after tonight's event. That's a hell of an effort from Dave. It would be a return to Split 1 after a fair while, actually. It would also mean that he would join his teammate John Gallen into Split 1 with the thought that if John were to actually stay in Split 1, I'm not sure how John's done this season, to be honest with you. If he were to stay, there'd be 2 Pelicans in the top flight. And there may be quite a few returning names to Split 2 next season, Brett. Looking at how the championship shaped up, with the amount of either former or definitely at Split 1 pace waitlist drivers that are signed up for next season, we could have between 7 or 10 Split 1 drivers come down to Split 2. And I'd argue the majority of them would be former Split 2 drivers. Names like Gary Buckland are on the bubble. Other names like last season's champion Halil Cesar is on the bubble as well, Brett. So there are quite a few names in Split 1 who are within sort of 15 positions at the bottom of the totem pole who could very well come down to Split 2 for season 26 and put a title challenge fight and completely shake up the entirety of Split 2 coming into next season. And if that were to happen, it's going to be so hard to make a prediction on who could possibly do well going into next season.
Yeah, and I think from the last couple of seasons that have showed us that the times between all the drivers have tightened up, it just makes the whole Split 2 that much closer. And it has been close over the last couple of seasons. But if we are compressing that even further, you know, what are we going to throw into the mix, you know? So, yeah, it's going to be interesting stuff. I just noticed too, Alex Kidd a few laps ago doing the fastest lap of the race in 1:24.668. So he's on a mission, definitely.
He's a man on a move. He has done his first pit stop out on lap 4. So he's come into pit lane, done his first stop. Fuel was interesting this week as well, Brett. Obviously 100% fuel tank capacity. With that critical lap on lap 1, it kind of opened up the strategy of where you had kind of 3 thought processes and 2 of which were reverse of each other. But actually no, maybe 4. We'll say 4. So there's the regular thought process of you split the fuel, which was roughly 33 to 34 litres per stop. You could then either go short in your first stint and get 23 litres in the car, take a set of tyres, take roughly 44 in the second, or you could reverse that. Or the other thought process there was as well, Brett, was you come in early, like very, very early. You take a litre of fuel, you then come out, you then wait and go around a bit longer. You're only going to get out to about lap 18, which kind of splits the race in half, or just under half. Yep. You then come in, you take fuel and tyres, and you get to the end of the race. So probably 4 differing strategies, 2 of which are the reverse of each other.
Yeah, yeah, which opens it all up too. Damon's still blinking away there. Bruce Tannick. You
have to start calling him the eyelid,
half
possibly.
A second. Yeah. Well, when I first started sim racing, I was on dial-up, and it was on really crappy dial-up, and I used to blink in and out all the time, and they used to call me the Phantom.
Well, just to list a couple of names that could be, relatively speaking, Brett, on the, let's say, the bottom 17 in the bubble of Split 1 that could possibly come back down to Split 2 next season. Now, I'm only going to mention names I know.
Brett Taylor and Scotty Weston in pit lane.
Yep, so EWT pulling out their strategy. They're in now on lap 11. So just very, very quickly, some of the former Split 2 names that could come down next season. Stacey Boyd, Reese DeGoey, Gary Buckland, Chris Burridge, Halil Cesar, Lorne Mackay, Brian Minogue as well as some of the former Split 2 guys. There's other guys in there that I know have been in Split 1 for a long, long time. Not sure if they were ever in Split 2. Not 100% sure, but Dave Kirby, Michael Whiting, Dan Hall, Scott Mackay, John Latham, Paul Young, Jamie McKnight, Chris Miller, Michael Taliancic. I think that's a pretty big shout to have Taliancic come down. Scott McCune and Stuart Hall would all be at the behest of possibly coming down next season.
I know John Latham is not he's not contending season 26 due to work commitments. He just can't get home in time. Also because of the time that they start and being in WA, so it makes it very hard for him to get home in time to get to the start of the race. So I think he's going to have a season off. I'm not sure whether it's going to be further than that, but that's as far as I know.
It's one name less that could possibly come down. But, you know, it's very interesting, the amount of, like, you think about one of the drivers in that list, Gary Buckland. We haven't seen Gary Buckland in Split 2 in, I want to say, at least prior to season 20. We probably haven't seen Gary Buckland in Split 2. It has been a long, long time.
And that's just how tight it is getting throughout the splits, you know. Yeah. So... as I said, there's, you know, if it gets tighter and tighter, it becomes harder and harder to stay in the splits that you might want to be in up split 1 or 2 or 3 or wherever it might be. You're going to get shuffled around a little bit, you know, maybe unexpectedly, but it is what it is, and these things happen. So Dave Arney just on the back of Jim Caparonis is within half a second. And Jim here.
Off the back, looking at Dave Arney. Poor old Damon has been blinking quite a fair bit. He's got Tannick hot on his heels right now, but it is holding Bruce up at this stage. It's been an off track from Chad Weiger further up the order, down at turn 12. That's now going to let Scott McKenzie through at turn 13, and Chad's going to bring it right into pit lane. Smart move. Smart move. Randall's going to join him as well. So Randall in, Fisher's in too. This could possibly be a black flag for Fisher to get the internet fixed. I'm unsure. We'll see if he does return to the circuit. So Weiger and Randall in. We'll get a good view here of what the strategy could be for some of those front runners here tonight. It's now left Scholes and McKenzie out on the road, as well as Burns, Tannick, Caparonis, Arnie, Hoffman, Stoyles, Clifton, Houghton into the top 10 now. So let's watch how these pit stops are going to go for them, because this could be crucial for the race spread. If they time this right, they time the traffic correctly, this could be a massive payoff. Randall's already dropped, and he's going to get out ahead of Chad Weiger from that stop. Only a 12-second stop from Randall, so I think that's enough fuel just to cover the tyres. He's come out just behind Tony Chapman. So for Randall, who's been lapping in the 25s tonight for his fastest lap, with Chapman's fastest being a 27, he's going to want to try and get past Tony as quickly as possible, or hope and pray that Tony's going to come straight into pit lane on this lap.
Yeah, that's it. I was thinking something then, and I'm now void of thinking, unfortunately. But you know that does happen. No, it's gone completely. Actually, drawing a blank. Unbelievable.
So Balin Fisher, I believe as well, Brett has now pulled out because of those internet issues. It's a shame. Jim does make a good point, saying he's blinking, but a good gap, so I don't understand why someone should get punished unless the person is right there. Clacker, well, Bruce was behind him, and I suppose for Bruce, he was worried that he might hit Damon and ruin his own race and ruin Damon's race, so I can understand that.
I kind of think that's fair enough. Because as I said, like, I mean, you know, not challenging someone because they're blinking and not wanting to get, you know, a car to sort of appear in the middle of them as they're going around a corner or something like that, you know, it's fair enough. So it's an unfortunate thing, but, you know, I think it's fair. You know, if it goes on and it doesn't sort of, sometimes we have those internet blips that, you know, you might go one lap and it sort of happens and then it gets it back to itself. But, you know, when it's going on constantly, I think that's fair to just release. Was that Randall back in?
No. Randall's been out. He's just exited. Tanek's just come out as well, just behind Chad Viger. So for Randall, so he's taking a shorter stop here to try and keep track position throughout this one. Could be a good strategy point, I suppose, because of the fact that it is difficult to make overtakes around here, Brett. So we'll see how well this plays out for him. But if he gets up to the back of Chapman and he can't get by him, he could get held up here where Viger is 4.5 seconds back. Randall does not want to give that 4.5 seconds up if he can help it, as Skulls is now in the pit lane as well. So Matt Skulls is in. How close is this going to be to Shane Randall? Because Shane was roughly, I think Shane was about 3 seconds off the back of Matt before the pit stops. So how close is he going to be after this stop? Yep, so Skulls in, Burns in.
Hoffers and Styles.
Yep. Houghton as well. You're in, Brett, coming in to visit your pit crew, so console your brother in pit lane as well.
No, I think he got to the transport and left straight away, I think.
Oh. Got the car straight out of the circuit. So Skulls is in. Randall is rocketing down the straight right now with Tony Chapman right in front of him. Where is Matt Skulls? There he is. So Randall has gotten past Skulls in the stop by way of an undercut. And
is Tony just going to hold him up there?
But this is now the struggle for Randall. He needed Chapman to come in that time by, because now he's going to get held up. So this is the struggle for Shane. Because Skulls is right on him.
Last lap around
was
last lap around, Randall did his fastest lap at 1:25.336. So he was definitely moving. So
yeah, because I mean Shane took 6 seconds more in the stop. He'll obviously have to give that up to Skulls, but in their second stop. But yeah, definitely a tough moment for Shane here, where Matt's going to start to put pressure on him shortly. But he wants the move on Chapman, but he can't quite get there just yet, as Mackenzie's now in. So where is he going to end up in all this? In the scrambling of pit stops. Similar pit stops from the majority of the corrected top 5. Randall is the outlier by taking that shorter stop to get the track position. But Skulls is a man on a mission right now.
You can see by the attitude of the car, he is really on it at the moment, because he knows that this is possibly an opportunity. Goes to the outside, tries to go over.
It's around turn 13 they go. Chapman's now into pit lane.
This time.
Yep. So Randall continues on. Mackenzie is not exiting just yet. He's now just dropped. So slightly longer stop than what Skulls had. But Skulls is wanting to go for it here on Randall for what is the corrected race lead. Randall runs it wide.
Yeah.
And now it's to tuck back up again on Skulls. And it's dropped him massive time to Chad Viger. Remembering that gap was out to 4.5 seconds. It's now down to just 1.7.
Yeah, that's closed up very quickly. But you can see Skulls definitely on a mission there. He wanted to get past, and he's just gone past it, and now he's starting to clear. So he's already got over half a second out on Randall at the moment.
He's on an absolute tear, is Matt Skulls. And it is seriously, if you go back and you watch season 18 and then you compare it to season 25, this is as good as Matt Skulls has ever looked. This is top level, championship level racing from Matt Skulls this season. He has been the class of the field from his performances this season, from where he's finished this season as well. This guy arguably on paper, leading into tonight, should be the champion. And right now, he is 15 laps away from having one hand on the trophy when he gets to 75% at lap 32. Matt Parker leads the way. He does need a pit stop, though, in this race to... so he still needs 2. He hasn't actually had 1 just yet. So Matt still needs 2 stops in this one to get that car home legally under the CPS rule. When he does come in, it'll be Matt Scholes to Shane Randall to Chad Weiger, the current corrected podium order. Here on lap 17 of 42. Further back in the field, while the scramble continues, Brett, amongst this midfield. And Simon Heddersheed's getting in on the action now with Mick Clifton on his outside, Weston in behind them, Taylor, Allen and Houghton all involved with them as well.
Yeah, this is pretty tight coming through here. Look at this. He has a little bit of a look on the inside. Clifton, he's got some pace here, and also Weston right up the back of Clifton as well. So, I mean, they're all there close, but you can just see the attitude on a couple of those cars. You know, they've got a bit of pace to them. Let's see whether they can do anything with this at the moment, or is it just going to be nose to tail for a few laps and let everything settle down. But yeah, interesting. This mid-pack again, showing that it's a bit of force to reckon with at the moment if you're in that pack. So Heddersheed leading this pack. Heddersheed is down 1 from where he started, so relatively similar position from where he started from. Mick Clifton down 1, Scott Weston up 2, Brett Taylor up 5.
And this battle pack has
Parker
been,
in pit lane.
Yep, so Matt's in. So that now will correct the order to see where everyone will end up here, but there's been a tightening battle for what is P13 on the right. I know it says 11th on the battle box here on the side. That's because it is containing Rick Weiger in that as well, who's a position up, and Matt Stoyles in P10. But Clifton wants to try and get this job done if he can over Simon Heddersheed, but he just can't quite get the inside line that he wants.
No. I just noticed Scholes did a 124.977 that last lap around, so he was definitely firing on all of his cylinders in that section of the track, or that part of this race, you know, so he's definitely on a charge, as we talked about earlier.
Of course, fresh tyres on board, a bit of fuel put into the car as well. Matt is he's a man in championship form this season, and well, for Shane Randall, he couldn't quite hang with him off the restart, but looking at the gap further up the field before we get back to that battle, so it's out to 1.9 seconds now from Scholes to Randall, but it's actually dipped back to just over 3 seconds back to Weiger, so he's lost some time in the last lap or so here, Brett. So Shane's getting a little bit of help here to stay ahead of Chad, but to give up the difference between their stops, if we look at the pit time for them, Randall had a 12.5, Weiger was a 20, so he's going to get out to around about 8 seconds to remain position ahead of Chad Weiger across the next stop. It's a similar amount of time to stay ahead of Burns and Tannick and McKenzie as well. So if Randall can try and get this car out to where it can get, or it can only really get to the mid-20s because the amount of fuel that's in the car, but if he can build that gap up, he could and should remain on the podium, barring a mistake in pit lane.
Well, last lap around for Randall was a 125.695, where Chad did a 125.668, so fairly even on par for both those drivers that last lap around. It'll be interesting to see when they come across the line next time around. Paul Burns also 25.7, and Bruce Tannick at 25.4. So Bruce Tannick has got the, but apart from Scholes, he's got the fastest.
And McKenzie,
Scott McKenzie,
125.19, like...
Yeah.
McKenzie's got some
too, so
he's got some pace under his belt tonight too, does the Misfits Racing driver, and I think
obviously enjoying this track.
Oh, obviously, and I think if things could go his way and he finds this sort of consistent pace, Brett, Scott McKenzie could be a championship challenger at some point. He is showing me everything that he needs to really say, hey, he could challenge for the title in a future season or so. Further back, Steve Grumley has now gotten ahead of Matt Stoyles as well. Steve has done his first pit stop of the night, so he's gained massive positions right now, up 17 after starting from pit lane. So this has been a mega drive from Steve. If he can make up this top 10 tonight for SLS, that could be a very early nomination for driver of the day this evening. Kiddis is in for his second and final stop of the race as well. So he'll be trying to lock in some solid points tonight. With Damon Fisher out of this race as well, Brett, if Kiddis can score points, he will get himself into the top 5, and he will get into Split 1 next season by finishing inside of the top 5. So this is a good opportunity for him to make up for his season, which in the latter half, as we said, has been a rather unfortunate one for him.
Yeah, it certainly has, yeah. But, I mean, look, it'll unfold as it does. The pub test is coming up, so it'll be interesting to see where some of these drivers sit. Just seeing Simon Heddershey just run slightly off the track there. So that'll kill his speed down and around here.
Running very strong has Simon this season. They've been a very top-level driver throughout this season. Has struggled at times, but has still shown that ultimate pace that I would say has been fantastic. Brett Taylor, this has been his best season to date, Brett. I think we have to both agree. On the podium for the first time, on the precipice of finishing in a top 15, possibly a top 12 position in the championship. It's been a fantastic season for Brett. It's been a great season for Scott Weston as well. This team's finally coming into their own, which has been great to see.
Wonder who's the better of the Bretts.
Well, right now, Brett,
thus far on the championship.
Well, right now, the way it's going, it would be Mr. Taylor.
Blanchard in pits.
As Blanchard's in. So, yeah, right now it would be Mr. Taylor, who is on the road to win the Battle of the Bretts this season. Then we're going to have to make an actual graphic next season for that one, Brett.
But well, no, all I can say is I hope I have a better season
next season. Well, I hope
next season.
I hope a few drivers can have a better run next season in season 26. It's going to be a massive season for quite a few drivers. Of course, it's I'm not sure what number season it is for you, Brett. It's my technically 13th season, I believe. This is my 120th Vets broadcast, so math says it's my 13th.
Either 18 or 19.
Okay, so. But you know, we're both still young vets, in quotes vets members, because I'm not a driver, obviously. But we're still very young vets members compared to some other drivers who've been here for a long, long time. You know, over 20 seasons under their belt.
Clifton's starting to get a bit of pressure from Taylor here.
Yeah,
Weston. Yeah, he's looking very racy coming through there.
I mean, these guys have driven around each other quite a fair bit over the course of their iRacing careers, Brett, through multiple leagues.
Yes.
They've had many a battle in SRW, in ASR, as well as Clifton got a little bit loose under brakes, and then as well here in Split 2 of Vets. So these three drivers know each other like the back of their hand in terms of how they go about their racing and how they battle as well. And how ironic is it, Brett, that they're both the teams that were born out of the Phoenix ashes of Taipan Esports as well. Accelerate Sim Racing and East West Tasmanian Racing, formerly East West Racing, before Brett was picked up when he was a privateer. So both Scott and Mick are former Taipan drivers. They were two of the original Taipan drivers that went to the separate teams.
There you go. Just looking at lap 22, Matt Scholes has got a nice little lead at the moment. He's cruising out there with a 3+ second gap at the moment, 3.7 nearly. Chad Viger, a 2.4 gap. Paul Burns close to Chad there. So he's having a decent little crack at Mr. Viger at the moment. And we just see Bruce Tannick, was it on the inside of, was it Scott McKenzie or Dave Only? I pulled the screen blurred out
back there
for a second.
That is Scott McKenzie.
And yeah, he's got past. So Bruce Tannick up 6 places at the moment.
It's a great race from Bruce tonight. Really, really good race from him.
Yeah, McKenzie trying to sort of tuck in there and run with him, but just dropping off ever so slightly there. So
you know what this Tannick, would fast. What this would also mean is, Brett, we now go 3-1 on Aussies compared to Kiwis on Split 2 championships in the Gen 3 era of Vets.
Oh.
We started with a Kiwi in Logan Barnett. Ever since then, we've only ever had Australian champions in Matt Muggleton and Halil Cesar the last 2 seasons. What it does mean as well, with Tim Mulford not racing tonight, it means that our regular wording of the stat, the round 3 winner, always goes on to win the championship in the Gen 3 cars. How we can word it now in future, Brett, is the round 3 winner always wins the championship when he participates in the final round.
Fair enough. Just to redeem that stat.
Yep, exactly right. I keep my stats alive, Brett, as best I can. Lap 24 of 42 right now. Matt Scholes leads the way to Shane Randall with Chad Weiger, Paul Burns, Bruce Tannock, the top 5. Scott McKenzie is hot on their heels, though, trying to get himself back into the 5. Can he get the job done before the end of this race? Dave Arney, Jim Caparonis just ahead of Matt Stoyles, who's got Steve Grumley hot on his heels right now as well. Ron Allen into pit lane. So into the pit lane comes the third of our second pit stop, or 2 stoppers, as Alex Kittis and Chris Blanchard have already been into pit lane in this race.
So you might have mentioned this before, but Chad Weiger pit stop was a 20.06 seconds, and then the next one down the list was Scott McKenzie with a 21.07. Sorry, everyone down there until 13th place, Mick Clifton with a 22-second stop. Everyone else has been around that 15, 16, 15, 17, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there is a fuel deficit, and obviously Randall with that 12.51, and even Matt Scholes with an 18.9. So there is a deficit pay when those second stops happen. So it'll be interesting to see how that brings everyone back into line a bit, maybe.
Well, I think it will bring quite a few drivers back into line. I think Shane at the moment, with the time that he has behind him, should maybe be P4 after his next stop.
Steve Grumley in?
Yeah, Grumley's in. So I think Scholes should maintain race lead. Randall will go P4. Weiger, Burns will go P2 and P3. Tannock is going to be close to Randall. So the battle we're going to see after the next stop is going to be Randall, Tannock and McKenzie battling for P4 on the road, and possibly being a bit closer to Burns and Weiger when they come into pit lane as well, depending when they pit, because the undercut can be strong here when cars start to battle.
And I was quite surprised. The tyres didn't feel too bad until they started falling off a cliff, as they do. But I only found that in the last probably 2 or 3 laps of the race, where I probably pushed the tyres just a little bit hard. And yeah, I wonder how other people were finding that tyre deficit, tyre drop off throughout the race.
Well, I mean, it is a circuit that can hurt the tyres, of course, the amount of undulation changes that are around here, Brett. Oh, Randall's coming in. Randall is in. Oh, that looked a bit fast on the entry. Oh, I hope for Randall's sake that was not a speeding and pit lane penalty, because this would drop him well down the order and out of contention for a top 5. So into the box Randall goes. We'll watch it for when he drops. If he drops and he's sat there, he's got a black flag. And he has to wait. So we're watching. We're expecting roughly an 18-second pit stop, Brett, because of the previous time that he still had to give up on this second stop. So let's just have a look here. He drops and he is sitting. So it is a black flag for Shane Randall. Heartbreak for him. Bush into pit lane. So now we've got to look at, well, Weiger and Burns are battling away for 2 and 3. Tannock and McKenzie are battling away for 4 and 5. But if they tighten up through the pit stop, Brett, this could be an all-out battle for P2 here tonight out at the Sachsenring. And what a fatal four-way it could be.
And Bruce up 7 spots at the moment, so he's had a cracker. He's really getting at it throughout this race, which is great to see. The only other battles going on track at the moment, Mick Clifton and Rick Weiger, Brett Taylor and Scotty Weston are probably the closest cars on track at the moment in those 2.
I don't know if they would battle, though,
Chad
being
Weiger
teammates, would they? So I would say that Scott and Brett maybe would just hang out together here, wait till after the next pit stop to start battling.
Maybe.
I mean, Brett's got to think about
Who knows?
the Brett Championship, of course.
Well, that's it.
Brett,
Yeah.
you know, he wants to try and be the best of the Bretts as Scott
Oh,
is in.
Weston's in.
How many times can I say Brett in about 60 seconds? Or I count about
Yeah, I
6
know.
then, but
You might run out of Brett's.
yeah. I'm a bit lost for Brett at the moment. Bit low on air. Speaking of Brett Horsell at the moment, battling with Matt Parker further back in the field as well, so there is some tightening up battles. Grumley and Kiddis, the two pit lane starters tonight, have found each other again, so they'll continue their battle on toward. We are 5 laps away from 75%, and we are 5 laps away from Matt Skulls putting one hand on the trophy as the champion for season 25. We're going to take this quick opportunity to give thanks to our title sponsors, Racecraft Simulations. If you're in the WA and Perth area, head over to 17 Grogan Road, Perth Airport, chat to John and the team, check out some of the rigs they got on the floor. If you've got some spare coin, maybe fork it out for a PT1. It's a spectacular piece of machinery. Don't go anywhere though, we're back very shortly as we hear some very short, sharp messages from our friends over at Racecraft Simulations. Welcome back into the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans action for Split 2 here in Season 25. We're racing tonight for Round 10 out at the Sachsenring in the finale round. We're currently 2.5 or 3.5 laps away from our champion being crowned in Matt Skulls. He's got to get to lap 32 and he will get to 75% and would be classified the champion. He's been into pit lane. He's returned to the road in P4 at the moment, tucked up right behind Andrew Hoffman. As Scott McKenzie and Matt Stores have come in, so there's one car between him and the race lead once again. Hamish Munro here with you with Brett Fisher. Chad Weiger's hot on his heels though and putting pressure on him at this point in time. We are simulcasting across the V8 Vets and Infinity Broadcasting channels, so be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the bell icon too on both to get notified whenever we go racing on those streaming platforms across YouTube. Vets, of course, you get all the Split 2, Split 3 and Split 4 action when you subscribe to the Vets channel. And from what we've seen this weekend, you don't want to be missing any of the action of Season 26 when we go racing once again on the 18th of December 2025 for round 1 of the next season. Over on Infinity Broadcasting, you've got so much to look forward to as well. Monday morning, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, 11:50 a.m. We've got some US NASCAR racing in a US time slot. Highside Motorsports goes racing out at Nashville Superspeedway. Myself and Anthony in the booth for that one as we go racing. And still to return in 2026 as well, the IRWC VRS Porsche Cup Series and the IRWC Rod Knot Cup as well. We crowned our champions last week in the final rounds of the season for both those respective championships. But tonight we get to crown another champion, Brett. We are 2 laps away from Matt Skulls doing all he needed to and to be classified as the champion for the 2nd time in history.
Yeah, and he's showing some dominance out there at the moment. We've just seen Chad Viger. He was about half a second behind him for a short time there, but he's now stretched that to about a second. So he's getting on with it again, and just enjoying it out in that fresh air out in front. He's just done a 24.689. So pretty much that's the fastest lap of his race so far. So he's definitely finding the groove and staying right in it at the moment.
So Hoffman,
Bruce Tannick also just doing his fastest lap.
Yep, he's found some pace as Tannick. Hoffman's now in a pit lane. Duggan in as well. So there's only a few drivers left to do their second stops of this race, including Brett Horsell and Matt Parker as well. Speaking of Horsell, speak his name, in he comes. So now we just await Matt Parker's entry to pit road, and he will do his second compulsory stop of the race. We've had one non-finisher tonight, that being Damon Fisher, who had to pull out on lap 13 after some internet issues. Got 27 cars left on the road. So the finishing, or the commencement of lap 33 and the ending of lap 32, Matt Skulls will be classified the champion, as there are not enough positions on the road for Dave Arney to beat him by to win the title over Matt here this evening. So it's been an incredible season though, Brett, one of a lot of highs and lows.
Yeah.
One that, if not for the work gods of the world, was setting us up for an absolute fireworks display of a crescendo of a championship battle tonight. We've still had an incredible race here at the Sachsenring once again, do not get me wrong, and do not overlook the Sachsenring.
It's just lost that little bit of a flavour, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's taken away the possibility and the pressure that Skulls would have been under if Mulford and Haynes had been here. More so Haynes, because he was a lot closer than what Mulford was coming into this race, and while Mulford would have been in a very similar position to what Arnie would be in right now, being they were only 1 point separating them. But yeah, definitely took away a little bit of the sting that we had going for us in terms of the championship battle and the complete narrative of the season. But what it does do is it opens up the narrative of, well, Matt Skulls has been so dominant this season that with those guys not here, he has set himself up for a magnificent final siren free kick. And he set himself up for a race where he had to race perfect. He had to get to a certain point, hit all of his marks, which he's done all season. And he's put all the puzzle pieces together here in Season 25 to make himself the 2nd ever 2-time champion when he crosses the start-finish line at the end of this lap.
And I think I might have said it before, but just watching the car is just absolutely pinpoint. There's no bucking and weaving of the car, corrections or anything like that. He's just putting that thing where it needs to be. So, it just goes to show you how well he's driving that thing at the moment. It's there's no major attitude on the car. He's just doing what he needs to do, and he's out in front, and he's now got a 2.5 second gap over Viger. So he's got to be feeling like he's definitely, done everything he can do, to take out this championship, and good on him. Bruce Tannick just going another fastest lap for him at a 1:25 flat. And I'd just seen before a lot of the fastest laps lighting up for a lot of people throughout the field. So obviously just starting to get in their groove in the second tyre. Steve Grumley up 17 spot. Matty Parker, he still hasn't done his second stop, but Alex Kiddis up 18. So that's a huge drive from those guys coming out of pits at the start. So.
Well, with the commencement of this lap, it does mean now Matt Skulls is clear. He gets the green number next to his name. He is the provisional champion at this point. He's only got to survive 10 more laps of this race, get to the checkered flag, and he will officially be crowned the championship winner as well. Right now, he could end it. He could end the race right now. He could pull up, pull over. He'll get points for P27, and he would be the champion right now, Brett. So Matt's driven an incredible championship for himself, and one that makes him now one of two that have won two split two titles. Joins Rick Sibra on that list, the previous driver who held the record for most wins in a single season of 6 before that was broken by Logan Barnett back in season 22 when he went 7 wins to win his first split 2 title for 9.5 Sim Sports. So return to form for Scholes this season, drove an incredible season, and we are only a couple of laps away from the official crowning of another champion.
Yeah, he's going to be relishing in that fact that whether he knows, that he's actually put it to bed at this point, or whether he's just concentrating on his race to finish it out. Seeing Grumley on the inside of Parker at the moment, so knowing that Parker's still got to do another stop, so shouldn't stress him too much. And if you knowing that he's getting pretty old on those tyres, I would think. When did he come in?
He last came in on lap 17, so he's been out there now for 17 laps on those tyres. So
yeah, they'd be getting pretty ragged.
I'd expect him to be in this or next lap for sure, Brett. He took 26.46 seconds worth of fuel, so it was a little bit more than the split. I think he's taken actually about maybe about 50 litres or so, maybe a bit less, just to leave himself enough for a set of tyres to the end. So he's kind of played that opposite strategy of a couple of drivers tonight, and now Matty will try and get that car home off the next pit stop. It will promote Grumley, Kiddis and Stoyles at one position. Stoyles will get into the top 10 and could be under pressure momentarily from Mick Clifton if he is able to chase him down and just start to pressurize the back of him as Grumley's trying to go for it on Parker, but now he's run it wide into the grass and into the gravel as well. Kiddis now on the inside of Parker. Up 20 positions tonight as Alex Kiddis in a great race for himself. Parker's done well, so has Stoyles. If Kiddis can finish where he is, this will be good enough for a top 5 finish in the championship. He only had to beat Damon Fisher, mind you, by 3 points, and he would get into the top 5. So the other drivers he had to try and beat were the drivers that were behind him in the title race. He is currently doing that. Have a look at the standings coming into tonight's race. So he had to... Where's Rebel Ring? There it is. Yeah, he just had to beat Damon Fisher. That's all he had to beat to get his car into a top 5 position. So he's made it past 75%. And barring him falling to the back of the field, because he is only 4 points adrift of Scott McKenzie, who is 2 positions ahead of him right now in P5.
And he's right on the back of Burns, and I've seen that fluctuating a little bit there. He's close. The last lap around, he was only about 0.2 behind him, so his gap's opened up a little. Whether he's just resting the tyres a little bit and then get back into it, we'll soon find out. Great run for Mackenzie tonight, as we talked about earlier. He's had a great run. Actually, who's just blinked off there?
Fantastic race. That's Matt Scholes.
Matty Scholes.
Oh my God. Well, he already won the title, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things with the championship that Scholes has just dropped out. But what a time for it to have happened. He's already passed 75%, so Scholes has dropped. Parker's in the pit lane, by the way, so we'll see if Scholes returns to the server. He doesn't actually need to. He's already got points for P27. But
I wonder whether he knew. Yeah, I wonder whether he knew that, or he was just gutted when it dropped. I mean, I don't know. Like you can see Tanik now on a charge as well. So last lap for Tanik was a 25.7, and Viger was a 26.2. So
what that's done is that has now extended everyone up 1 position. So Mackenzie's now up to P4, Kiddis up to P7. So if Kiddis is on a 0x race right now, Brett, he could be on for 4 bonus points tonight. Right now, Mackenzie, I believe, is only on 1, which is for leading a lap.
And he's currently on 0. off tracks.
He's on 0 off tracks, but he may have a car contact.
May have it. Yeah.
So, with bonus points applied, if they were to finish where they are, I believe it is Scott McKenzie will be getting 173, and Kiddis would be getting 170. So Kiddis would beat him by 3 points.
Yeah, wow.
The amount for a 0x race. So if he gets an off track, Kiddis is going to tie with Scott McKenzie, and they'll be tied for 5th place in the championship.
Well, I see 0 off tracks as well for Scott McKenzie.
Yeah, but it's whether he has a car contact that...
same again, yeah.
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 Because it doesn't count car contacts, it only counts off tracks. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a bit hard to really predict, especially in the replay file format as well. We can't see, obviously, penalty flags. Hopefully that's a thing coming in a future update for SDK, please. We can see it in live sessions. Let us see it in replay files, please, as well as tyre compounds. I want to be able to see when people are on dries or wets.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
But we have got only 5 laps to go in this race. Matt Scholes is not back in the server just yet. Actually, he is now.
Maybe he's
just gotten into pit road.
I was going to say maybe he's off celebrating it with champagne already.
Well, P26, because Tony Chapman's actually still behind him. He never actually got back past him again. So, Scholes P26 down 25 tonight. Will not get anywhere near the top step of the podium, but is the champion at the moment. And the irony is that Dave Arney has just passed him as he's come out of pit lane. But yeah, Matt has done it with only a few laps to go, but now it's a swan song for him.
Been a bit of a crazy night, hasn't it?
It has. It has been quite crazy for some drivers. Dropped opportunities for some, taken opportunities for others. But what we've seen is really tight battle packs. I would love to see a long form race here, Brett. I think like a 300k race here would really test the field. And if we had a bit of open strategy about it, could really throw out some amazing racing in terms of in the pit lane and on the circuit as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, look, when I first started cycling in this track earlier in the week, I absolutely hated it. But it took me a couple of days to sort of get my head around how to drive this car around here. Even though I didn't qualify, I mean, I qualified a second off my best time. I did get into a 24.9 in practice with no draft or anything like that. And so I was, during the week, sort of got better and better. So, but I did sort of start to enjoy the track after, about half race and stuff like that. So it was quite good.
Once the car and the track kind of comes together and turns on a little bit, it really starts to open the gates for opportunity at good battling. And we've got so many more circuits coming into iRacing within the next year, of course. There's been mention and obviously confirmation that the Bahrain International Circuit's coming, Circuit Paul Ricard as well, and those eagle-eyed viewers out there who paid attention to the iRacing arcade ad that we played earlier on, you would have noticed a track logo for Kyalami in South Africa, which could mean that Kyalami could be making its way to iRacing in future as well if they have the license for it, which would be very exciting. If you don't know what Kyalami is, it's a track based out of South Africa, as I said. It's formerly been used for a Formula One race quite a few years ago, but is currently being used. He has taken the lead, yeah. So Tanik's taken the lead.
Yeah, take the lead, so Tanik's in the front.
Yep, so Tanik now leads. But currently, or most recently, it's being used for WEC, for endurance racing out at Kyalami. But it's a circuit, Brett, I think would actually really suit the supercar. It is tough, it's tight, but it's a great track, and it's got great facilities about it as well. So that's very exciting coming into next year. Shane Randall has just gotten past Mark Houghton now further back in the field as well. Shane's had an unfortunate night. Mark's down 1 at the moment. Hoffy's down 4. Crosby up 9 in his attempt to get into the top 5 this season. As Blanchard now makes his way through as well. There's
a fairly heavy battle pack here, actually.
Well, right now, actually, the closer battle is Crosby and McKenzie. Because now where Crosby is, he can still make the top 5 in the championship past McKenzie. So right now, Kiddis will be P4, and it's either Mackenzie or Crosby that are in P5. So this is very, very close between them to get into split 1 for next season.
Wow. Still some exciting stuff going on track then, isn't there?
Some very, very exciting stuff.
Chad's not done with this yet.
He's not. He wants a win. Chad hasn't taken a win this season. His last win came last season at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. He would love another win next to his name by the end of this season, of course. Tanek will lead him round. It'll be 2 laps to go, so the race is yet to be decided. Championship is done. It's finito. But the racing is not over just yet, and it's not over until the checkered flag flies and everyone ends up back in the Discord server, sinking a few tinnies or seeing a few glasses and having a good time. Drink responsibly, of course.
Or if you're Dave Reynolds stealing pot plants.
Yes, of course. Steal some pot plants possibly as well. Go take a memento with your 2, Brett.
That's it. But Chad Viger, so he's at the moment currently where he started the race. Paul Burns is running 3rd, and he's currently where he started, and Scott McKenzie running 4th. He's where he started the race.
We've got to think about, Brett, who we could possibly nominate for Driver of the Day tonight.
Yeah.
And right now, I have got 2 names that I want to put forward. But I think we should obviously let the chat decide, of course. But I have got 2 names that I want to put forward if you want to think of 2 names. My 2 names right now are Bruce Tanek and Steve Grumley. But I would be happy to replace possibly Grumley with Scott McKenzie, because I think Scott's done a fantastic effort tonight.
I think I'd like to see Scott McKenzie in there. Bruce Tanek, because he's driven plus 10 and he has driven the wheels off that car. So definitely those 2. I'm just trying to think of one more that we can nominate.
Or could we maybe say Chad for maintaining where he is?
Yeah.
Because I think he's done a solid
and he's had a
effort
good,
to stay
he's
where
had a
he
good
is.
race, and he's fought a good race too.
He has. All right, Chad Viger as well. Okay. We'll put those out once the race finishes.
White flag's out. Last lap. Bruce Tanek so far, looks like he's got this in the bag for the last lap, but anything can happen. He's got about 3/4 of a second out on Bruce Tanek at the moment. Paul Burns about 1.5 seconds off Chad, and Scott McKenzie, as my screen goes blurry.
Well, it has been
settle back down.
It's been an enticing season thus far. Tanek's had some shining moments throughout. Other drivers have as well, including Caperonis, Kiddis, Grumley too. Brendan O'Brien had some few shiners this season. So did Mulford, so did Haynes and Damon Fisher as well. But after 10 rounds, after thousands of kilometres driven, thousands of laps as well, or hundreds of laps as well, it has been a wild and wonderful, fabulous season 25. Up to the start-finish line we come. And Bruce Tanek will be the final race winner of season 25 of the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans. Viger P2, Burns in P3, McKenzie and Arnie inside of the top 5. But it is this man right here, Matt Scholes, joins Rick Sibra as a 2-time Split 2 champion of the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans in what was a fantastic and champion-driven season from the 801 sim racing driver.
Yeah, no denying he's had a fantastic season. I just noticed then too, as Bruce Tanek crossed the line, I thought I saw his car slowing.
Yeah, he was. The line is earlier though than the finish and then the start line.
It is right. Okay.
The timing line is a lot earlier than the actual finish line, or the actual start line, I should say.
That one nearly got me unstuck there.
Well, it was a mega season and it was a mega championship from Mr. Skulls, and one that I think we should highlight immensely. Second ever 2-time champion. Running out this season, he had, what was it? Well, he had 2 wins. I believe. Hang on, let me read it properly. Put it on my proper screen. Hamish, yep, 2 wins, 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s for the 9 races that were counted. Remember, we said you need 2 wins to win the championship. And Skulls has done just that. 1,363 points in the end was his championship tally to Dave Arney's 1,337 and Jim Caparonis' 1,313. It then gets a lot closer for P4 and P5. P4 went to Alex Kiddis on 1,278. P5 was Darren Crosby on 1,275. P6 for Scott McKenzie was 1,274 points. He missed out on a split one, guaranteed ticket to split one by 1 point, Brett. Yeah, that was how close it was in the end.
Wow.
Yeah, that was how close it got. It was an amazing season where I believe we averaged just over 30 drivers per round. It was one in which drivers fought hard fought tooth and nail battles all throughout. We gave out 2 double Driver of the Day awards this season.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. We make our own rules, apparently.
We do.
We make our own rules, apparently. Get your votes into chat, because currently it's tied between Tanik and Viger, so we want to try and get that sorted
Yeah, come on,
out.
guys. Get your votes
in.
Get your votes happening. Come on. You've got a keyboard.
Otherwise, it's going to be up to me and Brett to decide, and you know,
God.
we'd have to figure out which one it is out of the 3 of them. But
yeah,
a mega season for all involved.
Oh, a huge season,
championship. One that, once again, we've had the absolute pleasure of calling. Season 26 is going to be bigger and better than ever, Brett. I'm so excited. It's my 13th season for the Vets. It's your 9th season in the Vets as well. Yeah, what a championship. What a season it was. Big ups to Dave Arney and Jim Caparonis. They lifted their game this season. Congrats to both those guys for getting a race win this season as well. Commiserations to Tim Alford and Simon Haynes for missing the last round. They would have been right there in the end if they had have made it to the Sachsenring, but it will mean that we'll get to see them again for season 26, battling away for another championship possibility as well. Just to give you the final results of the last round of the season. It was Bruce Tanik to Chad Viger, Paul Burns, Scott McKenzie, Dave Arney, the top 5, Jim Caparonis, Alex Kiddis, Matt Stoyles, Chris Blanchard, Mick Clifton, Steve Grumley, Brett Fisher, Simon Hedishi, Brett Taylor, and Jeremy Bush are the top 15. That finish there for Taylor means that he wins the Battle of the Bretts this season. We'll see how it goes. If it goes in your favour, Brett, or if it's going to go in the favour of Brett Horsell next season, or possibly Mr. Taylor.
No, I'm going to do my best to amend that.
Scott Weston, Ron Allen, Darren Crosby, Shane Randall, and Andrew Hoffman then made up our top 20 in the end, to Mark Houghton, Rick Viger, Matt Parker, Todd Duggan, Brett Horsell, Matt Skulls, Tony Chapman, and Damon Fisher never made it to the end of the race, unfortunately, for him. Big thank you to our race controllers on the night, of course, Brett O'Brien, Todd Martin, and then our safety car driver as well, Lucas Burt too. We have now decided a driver of the day. That's good from those guys in the chat. It has now been decided, and it is going to go the way of, well, Mr. Chad Viger of Angry Birds Racing.
Very good.
Who drove a very consistent race. The chat made the decision, of course. They were the ones that highlighted Chad in that one, and big congratulations there to Chad Viger.
Yeah, and
we
what a sensational, as you mentioned before, what a sensational season this has been. I've enjoyed calling it. Had a ball. We've had, I mean, this race probably a little bit not just a bit quieter than normal, unfortunately, you know, but it is what it is. But we've had some great moments throughout this season. Looking forward to. I'll be back for next season if I'm invited, and to do it all again, and let's bring it on, and let's get excited about it, because I think it's going to be.
You are always invited. In the off season, I may make some rallying to bring back our worst driver of the day award, to have a little joke going for next season. But maybe we'll call it the I don't know, the in the Battle of the Bretts, maybe we'll just give a little nod to the, I don't know, Worst bread of the day? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh,
Possibly.
that's only, geez, worst Brett of the day. Well, that's pretty. I mean,
it's
other people can have shockers too.
It's 10 cents
Well,
a vote
let's-
though,
let's-
Brett. But still,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can have the battle of the breads, which is
we're going to have the battle of the Bretts for sure.
If they're all joining back up again.
Yep.
But I think maybe not that. Could it be the worst driver of the day or the most unfortunate driver?
Maybe we have that. Maybe we
or
have
something like that,
unluckiest
you know?
driver of the day. Someone who maybe
Yeah.
makes a mistake in pit lane that costs them something, or
just
someone who
get
got caught up in an incident. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. And we'll highlight that driver as they could have had a very great race, but they just unfortunately got caught up in something. And try and push them on to try and have a bit of better luck the next week, maybe. Not to hound them or anything, or not to chew them out, but just to say,
no.
This
But
person
it's just one of those
actually,
things like,
they could have had a great race.
we
but
all
they got
have
caught up
good-
in something. You
That's
know?
right. And we all have good ones, and we all have shockers, and it's no point out to anyone to sort of for any other reason than just to say, oh, that was unfortunate. You had a shocker, and let's move on. And I was also wondering whether we start up a GoFundMe page for Damon to get proper internet too. I wonder whether that might be the thing as well. Because I think I said it last season. It would be great to see him have a full season where he's not plagued by internet issues and things like that. I think that he could have obviously finished up in that top 5, and I think he's not too far away from a revisit to split 1 maybe, but see how we go for that.
Well, what we have got for next season is going to be a mega championship now. At this stage, round 1 was penciled in as Phillip Island. At the moment, it's very likely going to be replaced by the Adelaide Street Circuit for next season as well. So it's going to be a mega season for season 26, one that you guys want to be a part of. Pre-qualifying is going to be happening over the next few weeks. We'll be going racing on the 18th of December 2025 for the final round of the year, but the first round of season 26. So it is going to be a massive season going forward. What you'll be looking out for, I gave a little clue to it last week by giving the what were the clues I gave? But I know one of them was pill. Was there another clue I handed out last week for it?
I can't remember. I mean, yeah, you're asking me. I've got a shocking memory. I
can't recall exactly. The theming was around the colouring of something that was 26 years old this year in 2025, which was for the Matrix. So the colouring, it's literally, I just picked that because it was green. That was why I picked it. But yeah, it won't be Phillip Island that we're racing up for round 1. It will be Adelaide, but I made this before we decided Adelaide was likely to be round 1, but it will be an Australian circuit nonetheless for next season. So it'll be
poor car.
I know
in your graphic.
I know. It was such a
launched.
good. It was such a good photo. I thought I've got to use it. It's such a good photo. So yeah, that's what you got to be looking out for next season. It'll be matching the thumbnails that we have over at Infinity Broadcasting for our other road series and the Porsche Cup series by having the track map with the flag in behind it as well. So the track map returns to the thumbnail. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, it's just a little thing for me. I like to do every season.
Are you going to take the green pill or the blue pill?
The red pill or blue pill, Brett, would be the reference there.
Yeah, sorry, that's right.
If you take a green pill, I don't know what's going to happen to you. I know what can happen if you take a blue pill, but that's definitely appropriate for the veterans. But yes, just make sure it doesn't get stuck. You might wake up with a stiff neck, but still.
With a stiff neck. Yeah, that old one.
Yeah, that old one. But no, it's been an absolute.
Maybe if you take the green pill, you end up being a leprechaun.
Maybe, who knows? But no, it's been.
I wake up and I'm 4'3".
I've shrunk and I've been left in the dry for too long, but no, it's been an absolute
running
pleasure.
Around the house saying, to be sure. Sorry, I'll shut up in a second.
No, it's okay. It's been an absolute pleasure once again to call the action here for Split 2. It's a highlight of my week every time I get to be here in the booth with Brett and with everyone out there in the chat as well. We appreciate you joining us throughout this season too, whether it's been over on Infinity Broadcasting or right here on the V8 Veterans channel as well. If you do want to help support us here in Infinity Broadcasting, you can hit the like, the subscribe, the bell icon too over on the Infinity Broadcasting channel. I would love to hit 300 subscribers by the end of the year. We're currently at 266, so we're only 34 away. Be massively appreciated if you guys could do that over on the Veterans channel. Hit the like button and subscribe to the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here with all the Vets action of Split 2, Split 3 and Split 4 as well into Season 26. Go and support SimSpeed TV as well. Subscribe to those guys live, 8:30 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time will be the Split 1 action of next season. And across the weekend, as I said, you'll get the Split 2, 3 and 4 action right here on the Vets channel. But I've been Hamish Munro with Brett Fisher alongside. A massive thank you to all of our series sponsors, Racekraft Simulations, Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Player One Sim Gear, Nova Sim Sports, Südspeed Gloves, LGC Images, and M1 News Cars, the Driver of the Day Award. Tonight it went the way of Angry Birds Racing's Chad Viger. Next time and next season, it could go to you. But from all of us here and from everyone in behind the scenes in the league, we thank you so very much for supporting us once again. And we'll see you guys in December, and we'll see you guys next month for the start of Season 26. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Tires bleeding, virtual cubes, the motor's breathing, engine thunder from down under, piston fire, turn asunder, put your name in lights. Oh, with the Vets tonight, it's a 1,000 decibel supercar fight, burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Oh, you're so steel, but the racing's real. Pedal down every pass you feel. Step right up and place your bets. This is us, the V8 Vets. Put your name in lights. Put your name in lights with the Vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel supercar fight. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Put your name in lights. Oh, with the Vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel supercar fight. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Burn this track to the ground. Come on now, put your name in lights.
The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In this sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Racekraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed the Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racekraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in sound bar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racekraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.